Hey guys, this is Ella from the BYOU Magazine Be Silly page, and I'm here with the stars of Shadowhunters, Matthew Daddario, Catherine McNamara, and Isaiah Mustafa. And I'm so excited for this interview, guys. Congratulations on season 2. Thank you. That's so awesome. So, Kat, the first question is for you. So your character, Clary, is very passionate about helping others. What are you passionate about?
A lot of the same things. That I think it's really important to give back and to try and help others whenever you can. That's one of the things that, I'm lucky enough to do what I love for a living, and through social media and other things, it gives me a little bit of a voice, and I try and use that for something good when I can.
And Matt, the next question is for you. So your character, Alec, is hiding a part of himself that only people close to him can see. What is something about yourself that nobody else can see or nobody else knows about you?
There's a lot of things. I think that's important. I think that having sort of things that are just for yourself that you consider on your own is very important. And whether or not people see them, maybe it's not important. Those things are just for you. And then you have to be able to evaluate if those things are going to cause negative consequences in the long run. But hopefully you can keep them for yourself, and they're like little secrets.
That's true. Isaiah, your character Luke has many amazing qualities, including that he has a kind and caring nature. Personally, what do you think your best qualities are?
Oh, I'd have to say my affinity for new and interesting neckwear. I am currently on a whole ascot kick and scarf kick. As you can see, this paisley little number right here has several colors and fashion patterns to it. So I'm thinking that this whole next year is going to be a whole new neckwear year for me, and I think that's really going to bring out different colors and the different kind of pea coats and sweaters that I have. So
that's the thing you like about yourself, and I value that in you,
2017,
Isaiah.
the year of the ascot.
Yeah.
And you can pull it off too, so you're good. You're good.
That's right. This is kids speak the truth. BYOU. That's true.
Yes, be your own you. Our next issue of BYOU Magazine focuses on goodness. That is, how we can bring more goodness to the world in 2017. Because, our world is kind of a crazy place right now. I think as we can all see that. And as Shadowhunters, you guys rid the world of its darkness. And as past Shadowhunters, now you're a crime-fighting werewolf. So my question is, personally, if you could change one thing about the world that could make it better and bring more goodness into it, what would that be?
I think, in general, if people were more accepting and listened to opinions outside of their own, it would help a lot of things.
I think it's a very difficult question. And I don't think that there's actually all that correct of an answer, because we could either say to the individual, be more considerate, learn more things, understand things, don't jump to conclusions, don't assume things about people. But telling an individual that is a lot different than getting a group of people to do something. So if I want something to change about the world, I can't really expect to change it on a massive scale. I would instead hope that the people around me, the individuals around me, hold on to certain values that are good, but defining that is difficult.
I'm going to say, the first and foremost, just feeling good is the first thing that I'd like everyone to feel good. And in order for everyone to feel good, I think that gummy bears and gummy type candies should be freely available to anybody who wants them. And Haribo, if you're listening, maybe you should think of maybe making rune-shaped gummy bears candies, just different runes, and that'll make so many Shadowhunter fans happy. You just say gummy bear without smiling. Gummy bear.
Gummy bear. I can't do it. Gummy bear. Now, since we're on the topic of runes and gummy bear runes, what is your favorite rune? And I guess what rune should be on the gummy bears?
The healing rune? The healing one. Because that one seems to help out a lot. So I'm going to go with the healing rune. Yeah, being healthy is important. If we only had a rune for that.
I have two favorites. I love the Fearless rune. I think it's one of the more beautiful ones, and it's I love what it represents and what it stands for, but I also love the angelic rune because it's the one that sort of is all-encompassing, and I love what it represents, how it's sort of an angelic blessing, but it's also a symbol of strength.
Well, I disagree with you on the fearless rune.
Really?
Yeah, because you're just hiding your fear. You're using a power
okay.
to trick you. Fear is good. Fear
Okay,
is something
fear
that you
is
should
good.
experience.
I see it more as maybe not eliminating the fear, but empowering yourself through the fear.
But by magic. It's not you actually growing. If every time that I encountered something that was difficult and I just could swipe something over my arm and suddenly not feel that kind of difficulty, instead just power on forward, then that's not really me learning. That's just me just tricking myself in that scenario.
You've changed my mind.
Well, I had a favorite rune, and that rune was the Parabatai rune, until my Parabatai literally threw me to the wolves. And, I've never been the same since, both literally and figuratively. So, if those gummy runes do become available, guess which one I will not be eating? That's right, the Parabatai rune.
So I've read all the Shadowhunter books, and I've noticed that the show goes in a little different direction. Sometimes, not all the time, but it's going different and weaving in and out. And so I'm asking the questions all the book fans are asking. Why do you think the show varies a little bit from the books?
You're telling a new story a little bit. Also, okay, first of all, you're translating something from book to show requires that things change. I mean, it'd be impossible to tell the full story as is. I mean, you could do it, I guess, but it might not translate well. And also, people have already read the books. So do you just want a retelling of that, or do you want something a little new? And it's all sanctioned by people who have thought about it extensively and who are big fans of the books. So I think it's a good move. Not everyone agrees with that. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. I hope that these sort of deviations continue to satisfy at least the majority of fans.
I think it's important that it's different because it is, like you said, it's a retelling, and it's important that it allows it to have its own life. But we have a nice balance with it. We do things that are completely opposite of the books. We do things that are completely different. And yet there are still certain scenes and certain elements and words and character traits that are directly from the books. And so you have the spirit of the books, you have the spirit of these characters, but by deviating in the plot a little bit, we are allowed to push these characters in directions that we don't see them in the books. And we see them in new lights and in new situations that highlight parts of them that you don't get to see in the book. So it's almost elaborating upon the books.
Yes,
in a sense.
yes. And what they said.
And like the show's its own living thing. Like it needs to grow, and I think it's really good, guys. Like all your characters, it's just really
Thank
good.
you.
Of course. Yeah. So the show is intense and it's serious. So how do you guys be silly while still being serious?
Easily is the answer. I mean, it's these people are very difficult
What?
to be serious around. They are.
No, we're the most serious people ever, Matt.
Maybe just you. You're just, she's very serious. Obviously, Isaiah. Isaiah is obviously an example.
I have to laugh at this because really, silliness at its heart is a very serious matter. It's a serious undertaking. And for us to be silly, we have to get serious about it. And so what I'm saying to you is, when you're being silly, take it serious.
But because we do have so many intense things happening on set all the time, it's nice. There's definitely much laughter between takes.
Yes.
And
it's
sometimes
serious.
during takes.
Sometimes you have to laugh at
Yeah. Uh-huh.
stuff. You gotta laugh.
I mean, when you're fighting somebody in a green suit, or when you're doing something in the air to something that's not there, sometimes it just gets to you. Or sometimes when we catch each other's eye, somebody's got a little twinkle, and then we all lose it.
Or if you do any scene in the Jade Wolf, you just start laughing.
It's true. It's something about the Jade Wolf, isn't
Jade
it?
Wolf is a funny place.
Maybe it's you.
It's a silly place.
And silliness is serious, I guess, because it's part of who you are, and you need to be silly in order to be serious sometimes.
You get it.
Yes.
Can we get her to set? How do we get her over there?
Right in.
That'd be awesome. I would love that. Like,
Yeah, we should
Come
just
on,
get
guys.
you up there and you can be silly.
Someone who gets us.
yes. And at the end of all my videos, I always end in "we all" and in a silly face. So are you guys up for that?
Yeah,
showing our inner silliness.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for this awesome interview. And don't forget to be silly, guys.
Are we
One.
doing it?
Yeah,
Two.
1, 2, 3.